Let's get started with our first news. Merab Dvalishvili returns the favor to Islam Makhachev. Merab Dvalishvili is calling out Islam Makhachev, urging him to defend his lightweight title against Ilia Topuria. Merab is flipping the script on a moment from the UFC 311 pre-fight press conference. A moment when Islam told Merab not to make the belt look bad and to face the real contender, Umar Nurmagomedov. But now, the tables have turned and Merab is giving Islam a taste of his own medicine. The message is clear. It's time for Islam to stop avoiding the real threat in the lightweight division, Ilia Topuria. Man, I don't have anything against you, just respect, but don't make the belt look bad, Merab said, addressing Islam directly. When you have a real contender, you should fight him. That's all I want to say. Merab's message is loud and clear. He believes that when a fighter holds a belt, it comes with a responsibility to face all challengers, especially when there's a clear, deserving #1 contender. And right now, that contender is Ilia Topuria. Merab emphasized that Ilia Topuria has now officially moved into the lightweight division after vacating his featherweight title. He's no longer the 145-pound champ. Now, Ilia is coming full force for Islam's 155-pound crown, and Merab believes it's time for Islam to stop dodging him. I'm sure everybody remembers, Merab said, referring to the past press conference. Islam told me one thing at the press conference. Merab, I respect you, but when you have a top contender, you should fight him. And I said, okay, I'm fighting. But now he has a top contender, Ilia Topuria, and he's not fighting him. He's saying other things. Merab made it clear, this isn't a personal attack on Islam Makhachev. He's simply returning the same energy that Islam once gave him. Merab feels that champions should face the top contenders, especially when a fighter like Ilia Topuria is undefeated, hungry, and deserves the title shot. He also pointed out what many fans feel is a double standard. When Merab was in a similar position, he was heavily criticized by the media and the fans for not taking on certain fighters. But now that Islam Makhachev is avoiding a legitimate challenger like Ilia Topuria, the criticism has gone silent. Nobody is criticizing Islam like they were criticizing me, Merab added. Why is that? Why is it different now? Whether you agree with Merab Dvalishvili or not, he's raising a fair point. If Islam truly wants to represent what it means to be a champion, avoiding a fighter like Ilia Topuria, who's undefeated, hungry, and more than ready for the challenge, that just doesn't sit well with many fans. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Is Merab right to call him out? Or is Islam just making smart moves? We want to hear from you. Moving on to the second news, Sean O'Malley praises Paddy Pimblett. UFC bantamweight champion Sean O'Malley recently showed major respect for Paddy Pimblett following Paddy's dominant and impressive win over Bobby Green. O'Malley didn't hold back when it came to acknowledging Paddy's skills and potential in the lightweight division. And now, with rumors swirling around a possible matchup between Paddy Pimblett and Michael Chandler, O'Malley believes this could be one of the most electric fights in recent memory. Paddy versus Michael Chandler is such an interesting matchup, O'Malley said. Chandler is a gangster for taking that fight. If he beats Paddy, that's still a big win. Maybe not in some people's eyes, but come on, Paddy is skilled. O'Malley continued to praise Paddy's performance against Bobby Green, calling it nothing short of superb. He was impressed by Pimblett's composure, precision, and the way he handled a veteran like Bobby. According to O'Malley, that win proved that Paddy is not just hype. He's here to stay. What he did to Bobby Green was superb, O'Malley said. That's a big fight. Chandler is a beast for taking it. Paddy's a beast too. He pointed out that both fighters bring something exciting to the table. Chandler's explosive style and knockout power, combined with Paddy's unpredictable and unorthodox approach, makes for a classic striker versus brawler type showdown. It's the kind of fight that fans dream of. Fast, furious, and full of fireworks. Paddy wants to climb the rankings, O'Malley said, and I think that fight makes so much sense. I don't know who wins either. It's going to be very competitive. Pimblett is sharp. O'Malley also acknowledged the pressure that comes with Paddy's growing popularity. Just like him, Paddy has built a massive fan base and knows the weight of expectations. But rather than run from the spotlight, Paddy seems to thrive in it. This is a bout that could shake up the lightweight division. A win for Paddy would catapult him into the top tier of contenders. A win for Chandler would solidify his place as a gatekeeper to the elite. Either way, it's a win for the fans. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think takes it? Paddy the Baddie Pimblett or Michael Iron Chandler? Moving on, Alexander Volkanovski believes he will end up rematching Ilia Topuria. Despite suffering back-to-back losses and dealing with ongoing doubts about whether he's still in his prime, the former featherweight king Alexander Volkanovski remains confident that a rematch with Ilia Topuria is not just possible, it's inevitable. As he prepares to face Diego Lopes this weekend for the vacant featherweight title, Volk opened up about the current state of his career and how he views his path back to the top. And even with everything he's been through lately, one thing is clear, he's not done yet. Well, I knew it was either Ilia or Diego, Volk explained. There were other guys who wanted a title shot, but from the way Lopes stayed active and the position he put himself in, I knew that if there was going to be an interim or vacant title fight, it would have been him. Volkanovski says he's embracing the challenge. I'm excited. I've got the next best option. Of course, my first option was a rematch with Ilia, but the fact that I'm fighting for the vacant belt against a young, hungry guy like Lopes, that's the next best thing. He admitted that the waiting game wasn't easy. It dragged on. He said, I just wanted a fight, but I don't think the story between me and Ilia is over. Not even close. According to Volk, the long-term plan is simple. Win the belt, defend it, and build a case so strong that the rematch with Topuria becomes undeniable. I plan on going out there, winning the belt, defending it, and then maybe we can get that rematch, he said. If he wins the lightweight title, even bigger. But even if he doesn't, imagine me defending again, and then we do the rematch. It just adds to the story. That's the perfect world. Volkanovski also acknowledged the criticism he's been receiving and the pressure he's under to prove himself. There are a lot of doubters. They have every right to think I'm old, done, coming off 2 losses, he said, but there's only one way to change their mind. Do what I plan to do on April 12th. I can't wait. Now on to the next, Michael Bisping says. Volkanovski's age may impact his performance. Michael Bisping isn't one to shy away from tough conversations, and he recently addressed the one concern many fans have been whispering about: Alexander Volkanovski's age. At 36 years old, Bisping believes this factor could play a significant role in Volk's upcoming title fight against Diego Lopes. It sucks bringing it up, Bisping admitted, but it's the age. You can't deny it. You can't avoid it. It's relevant. There's that curse. Once fighters hit 35, no one's won a title fight. I think that's the stat, right? While age is part of the conversation, Bisping made it clear that he doesn't think Volkanovski's chin is shot, at least not yet. People say his chin is gone. I don't believe that, he said. Look, he's lost 3 of his last 4 fights. Forget the 2 to Islam Makhachev. Those were UP at lightweight. Then there's the Ilia Topuria fight. Yeah, he got clipped and finished, but that doesn't mean the chin is gone. It was just a clean shot. Bisping pointed out that Volk has had nearly a year off, which could work in his favor or against him. Now he's stepping right back into the fire, fighting for the vacant featherweight title against someone who's young, fast, and absolutely dangerous: Diego Lopes. Lopes is a monster, Bisping said. If you're Volkanovski and you've been preparing mentally for Topuria, you've got to elevate everything. You've got to adapt. You've got to bring your absolute best. He went on to remind fans of Volkanovski's legendary resume. Let's not forget, Volk trains with killers. He's got grappling coaches like Craig Jones. He's fought and beat elite strikers. He beat Max Holloway not once, not twice, but 3 times. That run he had was unreal, almost tireless. However, Bisping also warned that this new challenge is very real. The speed of Diego Lopes, that could be a factor. Remember how he dropped Brian Ortega? Nearly finished him in round 1. This guy is explosive. He's got power. He's got confidence. He's not just happy to be there. He's coming to win. All eyes will be on Volk this weekend as fans wonder, does he still have what it takes, or will time finally catch up with the former champ? Next news, Merab shuts down a potential super fight versus Volkanovski. Merab Dvalishvili might be one of the most relentless fighters in the UFC today, a cardio machine with a never-ending motor. But when it comes to a potential super fight against Alexander Volkanovski, Merab made one thing crystal clear: that is not a fight he's interested in. Not now, not ever. During a recent UFC livestream, the newly crowned bantamweight champion was asked about a possible move up to featherweight, perhaps for a blockbuster super fight that could grab headlines and shake up the divisions. After all, with his win streak and growing fan base, a jump to 145 would certainly create buzz. But Merab didn't even blink. He said he's open to the idea of moving up in weight, but not against Volkanovski. First of all, I love him, Merab said, smiling. I respect him so much. I never want to fight him. And he wasn't just being polite. Merab truly admires Volkanovski for his skills, his character, and everything he's done for the sport of MMA. He went on to say, and second, he's not an easy fight. He's way better than me. So yeah, I would like to take super fights. I'm fine with that. If the UFC needs me and there's an opportunity, I'll move up a weight class. I'll take it, but not against Volk. In a sport often dominated by trash talk, call-outs, and hype, Merab's honesty was refreshing. He's not pretending. He's not building fake tension for headlines. He's just keeping it real, and fans love him for it. This is exactly why Merab stands out. He doesn't let ego lead the way. He's not chasing clout or trying to make a name off someone he already respects deeply. If he's going to move up, it will be for the right reasons, not to take on someone he considers a hero. And let's be honest, Volkanovski isn't just any fighter. He's one of the most dominant featherweights of all time. Even after back-to-back losses, his legacy remains ironclad. The man beat Max Holloway 3 times and went toe-to-toe with Islam Makhachev at lightweight. That's the level we're talking about. Merab knows how tough that challenge would be, and he's not pretending otherwise. Still, the door remains open for other super fights. Merab made it very clear, if the UFC presents another high-stakes challenge, he's 100% ready to take it. Just don't expect it to be against Volk. So for those fans hoping for a Volkanovski versus Dvalishvili showdown, it's off the table. Not because of fear, not because of timing, but out of pure respect. And that's what makes Merab a true warrior with honor. Next up, a thief strikes again and steals even more from Henry Cejudo. Just days after a car crashed into his neighbor's house, former UFC champion Henry Cejudo is now dealing with another major headache, this time a robbery at his personal studio. According to reports, someone broke into the studio early in the morning and stole several valuable items, including one of Henry Cejudo's actual UFC championship belts. But that's not all. What makes this even crazier is that the robbery happened while someone was sleeping inside the studio. Henry's own video producer Dylan Rush was on the couch when the break-in occurred at exactly 4:45 a.m. I woke up and saw a guy standing there, Rush said. At first I thought it was Henry because it was dark, but then I heard a loud crash. A shelf fell and the guy just ran out. Rush was in total shock. He immediately realized something was wrong, but it wasn't until later in the day that the full extent of the robbery became clear. In a video posted to Instagram, Rush explained that the thief didn't just take the UFC belt, they cleaned out everything. I was so focused on the belt, I didn't even realize they took my camera bag, he said. My personal camera, Henry's camera, my laptop, all my hard drives, my SD cards, my microphones, my wallet, it's all gone. Rush got emotional while explaining how devastating the loss was, not just financially, but emotionally. Years of content, projects, footage, wiped out in a single night. I want to give up, he said, choking back emotion. But I won't stop. For the people online joking that I was in on it, I don't give a damn. Say what you want, but thank you to everyone who's shown support. This just sucks. As of now, no arrests have been made and the suspect remains unidentified. Security footage and evidence are being reviewed, but the damage is done. It's been a rough week for Triple C and for his entire team. First a car crash, now a robbery, and a studio full of stolen gear, including a prized UFC belt. We'll keep you updated if any new details surface. But for now, Cejudo and his team are dealing with a big loss, both personal and professional. Next up, speculation is rising on social media about the current state of the UFC. Boxing Kingdom posted on Twitter saying, the UFC seems to be in decline. Pay-per-view sales have plummeted. No major new stars have been created. MMA fans seem upset with recent and future cards. Is now the right time for Dana White to leave the UFC, or should he delay his move into boxing? The MMA community reacted to the comments, with the majority of people agreeing that the UFC is indeed in a decline. But some strongly disagree. One fan said, don't watch Dana White. Every single year for the last 15 years, people have definitely taken this advice. The sport is too watered down now. I fought for 15 years, and I used to watch every UFC card. I haven't watched one since Jones versus Stipe. Pay-per-views used to have 3 fights with known fighters, and the other 2 were usually good matchups. Now it's a headliner, and 4 fights of people I've never heard of. Another fan added, how to reverse this decline. Dana, stop being a massive cheapskate bald doc and pay fighters more. He could literally double the win bonus of every fighter on the 10K to 10K contract, and it wouldn't even dent TKO's finances. They continued, no more Apex slop cards, no ESPN deal, close the Apex, stop booking uninteresting fight night main events, sign better heavyweights, improve scouting, and stop just signing anyone. Make it special to be in the UFC again. Others said, I'm tired of seeing dumb influencers near this sport. They should have gotten rid of the Apex in 2022. I've been a fan for years, but I haven't watched in months. It got boring. No new stars, and when stars do fight, the rest of the card is terrible. Some fans even believe underpaid fighters could be fixing fights. When you pay fighters a pitifully low amount, don't be surprised when they start fixing outcomes. That takes away the sporting element completely. However, others disagreed. The UFC is not on the decline. They just signed an $800 million TV deal with ESPN. The last one was $350 million, and they're gonna be on Netflix too. For context, Eddie Hearn's biggest deal in boxing is around $100 to $150 million. They added, the UFC went from 4 events a year to 1 every week, from a $40 million deficit to being sold for $4 billion. The biggest markets, India, Africa, China, are still coming. This year's media rights deal will likely be 3 times the last one. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Finally, Islam Makhachev needs to fight Ilia Topuria next? Ever since his dominant short-notice victory over Renato Moicano, there's been radio silence when it comes to Islam Makhachev's next move. Despite fans eagerly waiting, the UFC has yet to announce the lightweight champion will face next. At one point, reports started circulating that Islam might be waiting to see the outcome of the upcoming fight between Belal Muhammad and Jack Della Maddalena. Some thought he was holding off to potentially face the winner, but that rumor was quickly shut down by his manager Ali Abdelaziz, who called the speculation flat out fake news. So if that's not the plan, then who should Islam fight next? According to Merab Dvalishvili, the answer is as clear as day. Ilia Topuria is the most worthy challenger right now. Appearing on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, Merab didn't hold back. He reminded everyone of something very important, something Islam himself once told Merab to his face. Ilia has to fight Islam, Merab said firmly. He vacated his featherweight title. He's now the best contender at 155. But for some reason, Islam is just ignoring him. Then Merab brought up that famous moment at the UFC 311 press conference. Islam told me, Merab, I respect you, but when you have a top contender, you need to fight him. And I said, okay, and I did. But now he has a top contender, Ilia Topuria, and he's not fighting him. Merab also highlighted the double standards he's seeing from fans and the MMA media. People criticize me like crazy for even being in this situation, he said. But now, when Islam's doing the same thing, no one's saying anything. Nobody's criticizing Islam. Meanwhile, Ilia Topuria's coach, Jorge Clemente, is growing frustrated too. Speaking with Submission Radio, he made it clear that their team wants the fight badly. I pray for this fight, Clemente said. It's huge. I don't know what Islam's thinking, but I'll be sad if this fight never happens. It's a great matchup for Ilia. With the lightweight division in limbo and fans calling for clarity, it's becoming increasingly hard for the UFC to avoid this conversation. If Islam isn't waiting on the outcome of Belal versus JDM, and if he truly wants to fight the best, then it's time. It's Ilia Topuria or nothing.